Another one bites the dust. You can see the back of my head because it looks busted, but hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, my name is Griselda. As you can see by the title of this video, I am going to be showing you guys how to get this flawless skin. A lot of you guys may think that you can only get flawless skin by using really expensive products, and you are wrong, because in this video I am going to show you guys all of the products that I use to get this flawless face, steps that I take, tools that I use, and just techniques that I have picked up throughout the years to help me perfect the skin, whether it's a $100 product or $5 products. So if you want to see how I get this flawless look, then just keep on watching. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first we are going to start off by applying a little bit of this NYX Bear With Me Hydrating Jelly Primer. I've been using this hydrating primer for a few days already, and at first I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna like this because the consistency is just like literally like a jelly, and because it is a hydrating primer, it also is going to serve as a moisturizer. Okay, so to color correct, we're gonna be using this full spectrum Covergirl Contour and Correct Expert, and this is the palette Universal. So we're gonna pick up this orange right here. You guys know I have been color correcting as of lately. We're just going to pat that into the skin. And this is a cream consistency. And I really like this palette because you can control the amount of product you want to apply since it is a cream form. And I'm just using a flat brush to kind of blend it out. So for foundation, I'm going to be using the Super Stay Up to 24 Hours foundation, and I use the shade 312. And it's a golden undertone, and this is a full coverage foundation, which is going to be great for an everyday wear, and it's super affordable, which I really love. We're just going to pick up our Juno sponge, which is also really affordable. I also wanted to use a tool for the face that was going to leave the skin looking really nice and flawless, but at the same time very affordable. And what I find that is super important when working on your skin, you really have to take your time blending your foundation, because if you just apply it and just kind of blend and you're good to go, you start seeing patchiness on the skin and it just doesn't look even, and you just have to take your time with your foundation. I think that's the most important, just so you can have like really flawless skin. I take about 4 to 5 minutes blending out my foundation, making sure that I bring it down to my neck. I grab my ear and make sure that I get it like in between. So I just take my time, make sure that I don't miss any areas. I work it into the hairline and then just kind of pat. Make sure that I cover all those areas that I color corrected as well. So for concealer, we're going to be using this Camouflage High Coverage Concealer by Catrice, and this is also a waterproof concealer and it doesn't transfer as well. And this is in the shade Cosnova. I'm just going to highlight right underneath the eyes. I just really like how smooth this concealer glides on, and I also really like that this concealer doesn't dry down. And using the flat side of the Juno sponge, I'm just gonna press that in. And this is the area where I also try to spend a lot more time on blending, because usually when you turn, you don't want to see the difference between your skin tone and your highlight. So this is the area where you want to concentrate and just kind of blending it out really nice. And then right in this area. And then what I like to do is I like to flip the sponge and just kind of blend those two together. It's all about the blending, honestly. Picking up the Covergirl Contour and Correct palette, we're gonna just pick up these two right here. Just gonna mix those two, maybe a little bit of this one, and we are just going to contour. And I like to pick warm tones for my skin, because if I use cooler tones, it's definitely gonna turn more grayish because I am more olivey. If I was like a cooler base on my skin, then I would highly recommend to do cooler tones. Now we're just gonna pick up a fluffy brush. This one's from Morphe, the G40 brush. We're just gonna blend that out. This palette is super creamy, so I really like how it just melts into the skin. You guys know I never really contour with creams. I always contour with powders, but lately I've been playing around just to kind of step out of my comfort zone, and I really like how this looks. And I just find that it gives you a really nice like flawless finish after using cream product. For me, I just like stay away from cream products just because I have super oily skin and cream products just scare me. But I don't know, I've just been trying to like experiment, and I find that this palette is creamy but not so creamy, where it kind of makes my skin look oily. It just makes it look really nice and healthy. This is another step that you may want to take a little bit more time on, especially when you're playing around with cream products, because you want to make sure that you blend before you move on to setting it with powder. I'm just going to pinch the brush and then we're going to blend the nose out. Before we move on to setting everything, I'm going to go in with my Juno sponge and just kind of blend everything together, just in case you missed a spot and it looks a little streaky. We just want to be safe and just kind of blend everything together. Okay, to set the under eyes, we're going to be using the No Filter Setting Powder by Colourpop in the shade Translucent. And then we're going to use this fluffy brush. This is the Jaclyn Hill 07 brush. We're going to pick that up and we're just going to set right underneath. And I'm using a really light pressing motion when I'm applying it on. And then just set the rest of the areas that you highlighted. And then with my sponge, I'm going to just pick that up and bake right underneath. I would highly recommend you skip this step if you are a little bit more on the drier side, because it's really gonna kind of suck the life out of your under eyes. Gotta make sure you go down the bridge of the nose. That looks really crazy, but to set the rest of my face, I'm going to be using the medium dark Colourpop No Filter Sheer Press Powder, and I'm using this Beach Cosmetics No. 1 brush, and we're just going to pat that into the rest of the skin. So for bronzer, I'm going to be using my natural bronzer. This is in the shade Sundance by Rimmelle. I'm going to be using this BH Cosmetics 124 brush. And then we're just going to start working that into the skin. And I'm using a patting motion. And I'm just staying right there where I applied the cream contour. And then I'm just going to go in and just start buffing it into the skin. So now we're going to pick up the Jaclyn Hill brush. This is the JH07 brush, and we're just going to dust off any extra powder that we may have underneath the eyes. And then what I like to do is I like to go right above the cheekbone and just kind of buff that in, just so it looks really nice and blended. Now we're going to go ahead and bake right underneath to kind of lift the cheekbones a little bit. We're going to be using the No Filter Setting Powder in the shade Banana, which is a little... We're going to pick up our Juno sponge, and then we're just going to apply it right underneath. And I always like to bring it up here. I just give myself a beard. So after I apply it, honestly, I leave it on for maybe like 5 seconds, and then I go ahead and dust it off. And I'm using the same brush that I used to dust off the powder underneath my eyes. And you see, look, it made me lose like 10 pounds. And if you do lose a little bit of the contour, what you can do is you can just pick up that brush that you used to contour and not apply any more product. Just kind of blend everything together. Moving on to blush, we're going to be using this Paradise Enchanted blush by L'Oreal. I'm going to pick up that same bronzer brush, and we're just going to pop that right at the apple of the cheeks. Whoa, that's a lot of blush. I'm just going to blend that out with the powder brush. Look at that. There is nothing you can't fix in makeup. See how pretty this blush is? Super pretty, very perfect for every day. The key to having your skin looking really nice and cohesive is the word. Constantly blending out everything. I always go back in and just kind of buff around just so it can nicely blend all the powders together. I walked out of the house looking real crazy, looking real patchy, because either I'm in a rush or I just didn't care about my makeup that day. You need to care. That's all I gotta say. Before I move on to highlight, you guys know I always like to refresh my skin. Sometimes I like to remove that powdery finish on the skin because I did use a lot of powders. So I'm gonna be using this Bare With Me Prime Set and Refresh. This is an up to 8 hour hydrating spray. This is by NYX, and we're just going to spray the skin. So for highlight, we're going to be using this Pop Beauty. This is the Prismatic Pop Stellar Light Highlight. Popped it right on the high point of the cheek. And I'm using this Morphe R36 brush. And now we're going to go in with that Jaclyn Hill 07 brush and just kind of blend everything around the edges. Mainly like in this area, you kind of want to go over it just so it's not super highlighted in here. And then you can just go back in and add a little bit more. You're basically just diffusing it into the skin. And then we're going to add a little bit of that on the forehead. I like to use my finger when it comes to the nose, so I have a little bit more control of where I'm applying the highlight. If you guys are loving this video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you get notified every single time I upload. Because you guys know I have been on a roll with these videos. Look at that highlight. Oh. Alright everyone, so this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was very helpful for you guys. I was able to kind of show you guys my techniques in getting this perfect skin while using affordable products. There are some really amazing drugstore products out there, and I know we just kind of have to like play with them and see what works, what doesn't work. So these are products that I've played with before and I really do enjoy using them. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Let me know if you really like these videos and you guys learned something new. And without further ado, I will see you guys in my next video.
Check it out now. No doubt.